And that's our house call with my doctor, the one and only Ken Kronhaus. Doc, give my very best to your incredible staff at Lake Cardiology when you check in today, will you? We do appreciate you so much, and we'll have another house call next Thursday at 8 on BHL, breaking health and medical news. Connect to Dr. Kronhaus, home of the Bud Scan that saved me and to save thousands of other lives. Learn all about it at 352-735-1400, 352-735-1400. Dr. K on the radio every Sunday afternoon from 2 until 4 right here on 540 WFLA. Don't miss it. It's Good Day Health with Dr. Ken. It's 8:12 on BHL. The legislature, sexting, and droopy drawers. We're talking about it next with you. Stay tuned. This is going to be interesting. 8:12, as I say, real-time traffic and weather together on the twos. Here's the update.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, eastbound I-4 is a slow ride from Cayley Avenue to make your way through downtown. And we're also very slow westbound along I-4, approaching 434, just a little past 436. Continue to see delays westbound along the 408 in between the Greenway and Goldenrod. We're in good shape along 528, the Turnpike and the Greenway, both checking clear. Reports that the traffic lights are out along Maitland Boulevard near I-4. Be sure to use some extra caution in this area. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, we're off to a great start this morning. We'll see plenty of sunshine today, a light northeast wind, and the temperature backing off a little bit. The high will top out in the mid-80s. Late-day thunderstorms tomorrow. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Good morning. I'm Larry Spillman, 540 WFLA News. Coming up at 8:30, don't overdo it tonight, celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Should death of top terrorist in U.S. combat mission in Afghanistan, and the floodwaters rising along the Mississippi.
Hey, an opportunity for me to talk to you more about Dr. Ken Kronhaus at Lake Cardiology and this Bud Scan, heart scan breakthrough that he pioneered in Central Florida. He had the CT coronary angiography breakthrough before anybody else because he knew it could save lives. It saved lives by revealing issues in my coronary arteries for which I had no symptoms, and I never had any chest pain, any shortness of breath. Doc said, Budman, you are a heart attack waiting to happen, but we found out about these problems. We could deal with them, and here I am all these years later, still going strong thanks to Dr. K and the Bud Scan technology. Now, how good are they at Lake Cardiology? So good that ICACTL, the commission that sets the standard for quality care and heart CT scanning, has made them the only medical facility in Central Florida they will accredit for CT scanning of the heart. This is where you go for the finest in heart care, and absolutely great people to deal with as well. And it all stems from the top and the amazing Dr. K. It's your heart, it's your life. Find out more about the Bud Scan that might save your life. Just ask him if the Bud Scan's right for you. Give him a call today, please, and my best regards. 352-735-1400, 352-735-1400. Got more on the website, keyword Bud Scan.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of Applebee's. Mother's Day's just around the corner, so treat her to something special at Applebee's, like the sizzling smokehouse chicken stack or sizzling Cajun steak and shrimp layered with flavors you can see, taste, and hear. Take Mom to Applebee's for sizzling entrees. Fresh flavor never sounded so good.
Hey folks, Dave Ramsey here. At MyTotalMoneyMakeover.com, you can join tens of thousands of people who are winning with their money. You'll learn how to make a budget, download the Dave Ramsey Show commercial free, and so much more. Join the group today at MyTotalMoneyMakeover.com.
Tom, how are you doing?
I'm doing better now that I'm talking to you.
Good.
First thing I'd like to say, Mark, is I definitely appreciate your spending your time to be on the air to talk to people like me.
Justice for All with Mark Nation, Saturdays at 1.
Boss, you know that window I told you about? It's over here.
Shh, you're gonna wake up the whole neighborhood.
You watch out for landmines, they got dogs.
Never mind the dogs. Are you sure they don't have safe-touch security?
Well, they didn't as of last week.
What? You haven't checked since last week?
Sorry.
You do know that people are getting safe-touch all the time, right?
I know.
And you do know about the safe-touch two-way communicator and the crash and smash technology?
Yeah.
And you know about the new video monitoring?
Yeah, that's why we stay away from safe-touch houses.
Yeah? Well, did you notice the safe-touch sticker on the window? Right next to your head?
Oops.
Oops? That's all you gotta say is oops?
Sorry, boss. They must have installed it this week. Sorry, boss.
So now this Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. Call now to find out more about our brand new video monitoring and crash and smash technology.
Call 407-331-0335 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
What to get Mother for Mother's Day? Let's see. An hour-long in-home massage would be nice, or professional home cleaning. There's an idea. Or a beautiful flower arrangement delivered to her, of course. Well, you know what? You can get all three in one package. That's right. For this Mother's Day, only $177. 3 amazing Central Florida businesses have teamed up to help you treat all the moms in your life. The hour-long in-home massage is provided by Select Massage, and Molly Maid will send 2 employees over to clean the house for an hour. And In Bloom Florist has an amazing arrangement in a beautiful glass vase. You can purchase the whole package to lavish on your mom, or break it up and give one to each mom in your life. For this Mother's Day, only $177. To learn more about this special Mother's Day package deal, go to this station's website and type in the keyword Mothers. Hey, this will be your one stop for all the women who are special in your life. For this Mother's Day, only $177. Just go to this station's website and enter keyword Mothers. Easy for you and special for her.
There are some attorneys that pride themselves on only representing men in a family law matter. I'm attorney Matt England with KEL. We believe both men and women should be properly represented and that attorneys handling either side should strive for civility, putting families and children's rights first and foremost. If you're going through a divorce or have a custody issue, pick up the phone and speak to one of our attorneys free of charge. We have attorneys devoted solely to taking your phone calls. Call 800-NEW-LAWS, KEL. You have questions, we have answers. Kaufman, England & Lind, Office Orlando.
Hey, this Mother's Day, why don't you give your mom a gift she'll never forget? Take her and the family to the fabulous Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress for their award-winning Mother's Day brunch. It's my favorite hotel, the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress, and the brunch is just out of this world. Voted again very best brunch in Orlando by Orlando Magazine, and I would second that without question. Reservations going fast, so reserve your table now. Call 407-239-1234, 407-239-1234. Reservations and menus online for you at the website, HyattGrandCypress.com. And your last chance to win a Mother's Day weekend special overnight stay at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress and the Mother's Day brunch. It's a whole package together, and it's yours if our winner. Get in the run if you're our winner at 540WFLA.com. Keyword contest.
Calling it a life-changing experience?
Yes, he is the answer to the world's ills today.
Would be an understatement. Call 407-916-5400. Toll free. 866-916-5400.
Girl, you know I miss you. I just want to kiss you. But I can't right now, so baby, kiss me through the phone. Kiss me through the phone. I'll see you later on. Kiss me through
Sexting. Do you know what sexting is? On your phone, you send sexually explicit photos or videos of yourself to somebody else. Here in Florida, they have taken action in the legislature, which surprisingly, I think you will find, I actually support, to reduce the penalties for teenagers caught sexting, at least the first time around. Right now, under existing law, it could result in your teenage son or daughter who experiments with sexting being convicted on child pornography charges and being required to register as a sex offender. And a lot of these kids just kind of stumble into this, you know, and they need to stumble out of it. There's no question about that. And normally I'm very, very tough on things like this, but I think for a lot of kids who just kind of, as I say, experiment and stumble into this, and they don't understand it, we shouldn't be locking them up on child porno charges and branding them as a sex offender for the rest of their life. And let me tell you what legislation has made its way through and now awaits a signature on the part of Governor Rick Scott that I actually support. Instead of these charges and the sex offender brand being applied immediately to any teenager who is caught sexting, under the new legislation that I hope the governor will sign, a first violation is a non-criminal offense, and the second violation is a misdemeanor. The new bill would also allow a minor who gets such an image, who receives a sexting image, to report it to police, parents, or teachers without being charged with receiving or transmitting child pornography. I think at least for the initial sexting violation, I think we got to cut these kids. We got to cut these kids some slack until they prove themselves to be hardcore, and then we slam them, okay? But you can't have a teenager who just, has no idea what's going on. Somebody eggs him on. One of his buddies says, hey, you ought to try this. Why don't you take this shot and send this to, Mary Sue or something? And they wind up in court on child pornography charges and branded as a sex offender for the rest of their lives. So I actually support that. Droopy drawers. They spent time on this in the legislature with all the other important stuff they didn't get done? Oh, yeah, they did. And a local Orlando lawmaker is celebrating. It's been his cause celeb for years. How pathetic is this? Next on BHL, it's 8:22. Real-time traffic and weather together on the 2s.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, eastbound I-4 is a slow ride from Cayley Avenue to make your way through downtown. And we're also very slow westbound along I-4, approaching 434, just a little past 436. Continue to see delays westbound along the 408 in between the Greenway and Goldenrod. We're in good shape along 528, the Turnpike and the Greenway, both checking clear. Reports that the traffic lights are out along Maitland Boulevard near I-4. Be sure to use some extra caution in this area. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
We're looking at partly sunny and 83 today, 65 degrees here in Orlando. Beautiful, beautiful, cool morning for this time of year. Hope you're enjoying it. We're glad you're with us on the 50,000-watt front porch. Let me ask you, moms and dads, you worry about your kids and what they're doing on those smartphones, those cell phones, and this whole sexting thing has become a real problem with teenagers. Do you think that the legislature was right, as I do, in at least giving these kids a chance initially, as opposed to slapping them immediately upon being found out for sexting with child pornography charges that could lead to being branded as a sex offender? Do you agree with me that these changes that were made were the right thing for the legislature to do? 407-916-5400, toll-free 1-866-916-5400. Or am I being naive here? Do we need to be tougher and crack down on these kids with sexting right from the get-go so everybody knows it is something you do not risk doing? Sending those sexually explicit photos or videos of yourself through your phone. 407-916-5400. And then there is this. Orlando State Senator Gary Siplin has been pushing for it for years, and it's kind of become a joke. But I'll tell you, this is government once again sticking its nose where it doesn't belong. Believe it or not, this droopy drawers legislation that Gary Siplin has been pushing for years that prohibits kids from wearing clothing that exposes their underwear or their rear ends while at school could soon become law. This thing has made it through the House and has made it through the Senate as well. I never thought it would get this far. It seems like a complete waste of time that the legislature would dealing with this. Under the legislation, students would be verbally warned on the first offense for having those droopy pants. A parent or a guardian would be notified. On the second offense, the student would be restricted from participating in extracurricular activities for 5 days, and a parent meeting would be held on the third and subsequent offenses. The student with the droopy drawers, after the parent or guardian is notified, receives up to a 3 days in-school suspension and would be restricted from participation in extracurricular activities for a month. All I can say about this is, with all the things that they didn't get done in the legislative session that are so important to all of us, they found time in the House and the Senate for Gary Siplin's droopy drawers legislation. And it looks like it's going to become the law in the state. Bottom line, this is not something that should be decided at the state level. Let the schools deal with it if they think they have a problem, and let the principals deal with it at the local level on an individual school basis. Do I have it right? 407-916-5400. Bill's in Castleberry with a Bud Man. Good morning at 8:26, Bill. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Bud. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
So I totally agree with you on the sexting issue. I coach on the high school level, and it's boys and girls doing this kind of stupid behavior. And first off, I'd like to know legally, how could it be child porn if it's one child sending it to another child? Now, if it goes to an adult and they forward it, oh, yeah, absolutely, nail them for that. But, you know, when it's kids to kids, they think it's a novelty. They think it's cool because all this modern technology they have, and they get away with it. And, of course, it's absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, any parent with their brain is going to do their best.
You think we need to scare them with a, with a non-criminal offense, essentially what amounts to a warning the first time, as opposed to throwing the book at them?
Well, absolutely. And the biggest way you can deal with kids half the time is with embarrassment. And that's one way to do it. And so, anyway, listen, regarding to your other issue with the droopy drawers, I agree with you also that it should be a school issue, and schools should, in fact, have a dress code. I know on our teams, if kids are observed in school exposing their underwear or inadvertently other parts of their body, that shouldn't be happening.
Has to be dealt with at the school level. The heavy hand of government at the state level and the waste of time in the legislature, Bob, sir, I cannot support. Here is Bob quickly from Orlando on either one of these topics. Bob, what do you think?
Hey, bud. Yeah, the droopy drawer legislation. I think I totally agree with you. That gives even the state government too much power. That's a start. Then, of course, the question that we'll ask is what's next. You know, I don't like the way this color is. Let's go ahead and put legislation to ban that. And it's a waste of time. So much more important issues to go over. And, you know, thank you for your...
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much for the call. I think you're right on the money. All right. Barack Obama, the president, is going to ground zero today in the wake of the killing of Osama bin Laden. We're going to talk about that with you. We're going to talk about his decision, which I think is wrong on so many levels, not to release the Osama bin Laden death photos. And we're going to talk about the fact that Obama will be at ground zero. George W. Bush has declined the invitation. Rudy Giuliani was invited. His status unclear. 407-916-5400. News coming up. Larry in for Michelle with that as we approach the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. Good morning at 8:28.
See that blue OnStar button on your mirror? Push it, and you could be one of 10 people to win the Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac of your choice. Even if you're not an OnStar customer, even if you've never pushed your OnStar button before, go ahead and push it, and maybe, just maybe, you could win a top-end Cadillac CTS-V Coupe, a GMC Sierra heavy-duty truck, a Chevrolet Camaro convertible, a stylish Buick LaCrosse. Heck, choose a cargo van if that's your thing. It's the vehicle of your choice. Just push your blue OnStar button, stay on the line to talk to an advisor, and you could be one of 10 people to win. There's no obligation. It's called the OnStar Push-On Sweepstakes because it's all about reaching up and pushing that blue button. Now. Sweeps exclude Chevrolet Volt. No purchase necessary. Visit OnStar.com for rules and alternate entry details. Void where prohibited. Ends May 31st, 2011. Must be 18 years of age or age of majority and U.S. or Canadian legal resident. Limit 3 entries per person regardless of entry method, but only one blue OnStar button pushed per vehicle.
Attention female cigarette smokers. If you're between the ages of 21 and 65 and smoke a pack of cigarettes per day on average and are in good overall health, Orlando Clinical Research Center would like to invite you to participate in an upcoming research study. Study participants will be required to stay at the research dorm for 1 week. Qualified females will receive up to $1,500 for time and travel. For consideration, call 407-240-7876. That's 407-240-7876. Or visit the Orlando Clinical Research Center website at ocrc.net.
Bud Henninger Live continues with news from the Fox Orlando News Center on 540 WFLA.
Police across Central Florida are planning increased patrols tonight to make sure Cinco de Mayo revelers don't overdo it. Already possessing the nation's most diverse, large Latino population, Florida grew into an even bigger melting pot of Hispanics in the past decade. New census data shows the number of Central and South Americans in Florida grew by more than 500,000 people. Cubans and Puerto Ricans grew in almost equal numbers. Hispanics now make up almost a quarter of Florida's 18.8 million residents. The census data also shows that Floridians have gotten older in the past decade. The median age is 40.7 compared to 38.7 a decade ago. Should the death of Osama bin Laden end the combat mission in Afghanistan? That debate is beginning on Capitol Hill.
North Carolina Republican Walter Jones says the winner is costing taxpayers more than $8 billion a month.
More importantly than the money, the waste of American lives.
Jones is joining an unlikely ally, Massachusetts Democratic anti-war Congressman Jim McGovern, to introduce legislation aimed at
Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News Radio. Vice President Joe Biden and top lawmakers in Washington are beginning their quest to tame the spiraling U.S. debt. They'll start today with small steps aimed at finding what common ground might exist in vastly different approaches toward restructuring government spending. Thousands of people from Illinois to Louisiana are fleeing their homes before record-breaking floods rolling down the Mississippi River, and farmers are bracing for a repeat of the desperate strategy used earlier this week when Army engineers blew up a levee and sacrificed thousands of acres of farmland to protect populated areas upstream. And a study suggests that men under the age of 65 with early prostate cancer have better survival odds if they have surgery right away instead of waiting for treatment. The research in Sweden also finds that to be true for tumors thought to be low risk because they don't look very aggressive under a microscope. 540 WFLA News Time is 8:32. I'm Larry Spillman. Get these stories and more at 540WFLA.com. Coming up, more Bud Henninger Live.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, still seeing a slow ride eastbound along I-4 from Michigan Street through downtown, easing up just before Colonial Drive. Biggest problem spot is westbound along the 408. You're pretty much stopped at this point from Dean Road into Goldenrod. There was a disabled vehicle taking up the left lane near Goldenrod. Good news, though, that disabled vehicle has been cleared. All lanes are getting by, but traffic is hardly moving through this area. You may want to take an alternate if you can. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of the International Diamond Center.
If you're looking to sell or trade your gold, jewelry, or coins, do it at a place that guarantees to pay you the most. International Diamond Center. Get instant cash or a minimum 50% bonus when you trade for new jewelry. International Diamond Center. Better selection and value guaranteed.
Brakes, squeaking, or grinding? ZembauersAutoCenter.com.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, we're off to a great start this morning. We'll see plenty of sunshine today, a light northeast wind, and the temperature backing off a little bit. The high will top out in the mid-80s. Late-day thunderstorms tomorrow. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Share your unique insight with the world.
Men are all idiots.
407-916-5400. Toll free, 866-916-5400.
Watch me strike out mad, don't always take time. As far as I'm concerned, you're just another picture to burn.
Barack Obama, the President of the United States, has said, I don't care if you or anyone else wants to see the Osama bin Laden death photos. We're not doing it. It will inflame passions among our enemies, as if killing bin Laden hasn't done that already to the max. And we're just not going to spike the ball, he tells 60 Minutes. Too much of it in your face. Gee whiz, there we go once again. I can't understand this. Why is it that this president cares so much about our enemies? You know, that we have to have an elaborate Sharia-approved burial ritual on a U.S. aircraft carrier for Osama bin Laden. You know, bathe him a certain way a certain number of times and perfume him up and shroud him and all of this before we slide him into the deep blue sea. Please, did he give a rip in 1 second's thought about the unimaginable pain and suffering he inflicted on completely innocent people by the thousands on September 11th, 2001? People on fire atop the Twin Towers, jumping to their certain death in a complete panic when there was no other escape. All those people they terrified on the airplanes and ultimately killed as well. You know, I'm sorry. You know, a little Old Testament eye for an eye here as far as I'm concerned. And this president just bends over backwards continuously for the Muslim world. There's no other way to put it. We've seen it time and time again. And I actually think there's mentality here with the president, and some hypocrisy, by the way, which I'll explain in a moment. 407-916-5400, that there is a mentality here that is consistent with the Obama apology tour that he initiated almost as soon as he became president, traveling around the world essentially apologizing for American power and American dominance and American foreign policy. And I think essentially here, with his refusal to release these photos, it's all part of the apology tour. I mean, yes, he gave the order to the Navy SEALs who pulled off this high-risk mission, which was a stunner. It's our greatest victory by far in the war on terror. It's incredible, and he's commander-in-chief, and I give him the praise for it. It was a gutsy call. Could have been a total fiasco for this country and could have destroyed his presidency. But it all turned out, and Osama bin Laden is dead, and that's good. But gee whiz, we got to make sure we bury him just right. We're not going to show you the photos here because we really kind of feel bad about what we had to do here. Oh, please, you're making me sick. 407-916-5400. And the hypocrisy early in his presidency, Barack Obama was the guy who signed off on releasing thousands of photographs of alleged abuse of prisoners by the U.S. military as a follow-up to the whole Abu Ghraib fiasco earlier in the decade. He didn't have a problem with that. The Bush administration told him, don't do it. It's going to inflame our enemies. But the president was fine with it then, wasn't he? Because it made the Bush administration look bad. 407-916-5400. Those pictures, I told you all week, needed to be out there almost immediately. We need to know definitively that this guy bin Laden is dead, and so do our enemies. We do. And we don't need to fear how they will react. That's not a credible reason for not releasing these photos. I think it shows his sympathy for the Islamic world in a way I do not think is warranted. And a fear of radical Islam that I don't want demonstrated by a commander-in-chief. Here's Joe in Titusville. Good morning, Joe.
Hi, Bud. I just was wondering, you know, there's another side to the, and I served 20 years in the military, 16 overseas, and I remember getting locked down every time something went wrong or bad press got out there. And, you know, I don't think the American people and a lot of the people talking about this issue really understand what troops go through when they serve overseas and have a communist town on one side of the base and a socialist on the other, and every time you turn around, you're locked down on that base camp.
Joe, hang on a minute. I appreciate your service so much, and I admire you. But let me just say this. You're dancing all around the issue here. If the issue is you don't want to inflame our enemies and endanger our troops, you've killed bin Laden. Photographic proof or not, you've killed bin Laden. That inflames them to the max. This cannot possibly add to that, Joe.
Yes, it can.
I disagree 100%. 407-916-5400. Tom in Orlando. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, Bud. Thanks for taking my call.
Should he have released the photos or not?
Absolutely. You know, this is absolutely ridiculous. You know, I think what we need to do is go pull some good old World War II vets out. You know, I sit down with my 11-year-old and we watch old newsreel runs of World War II where we just blanket bomb cities. The point of war is to kill their women, their children, their grandparents, destroy their infrastructure to the point of they cower at the thought of us ever coming back.
Colin Powell said it. You know, when we go to war, we kill people and we break things. That, by definition, is what happens.
Exactly, and that's it. You know, my God, we can't even spike the football when we're excited that we made a touchdown because it makes the other team feel bad. We can't show bin Laden's picture because it might upset them a little bit. And what are they going to do? If anything they should do, you know, we should have the 10 times rule. You do it to me one time, I'm doing it to you 10. You kill one of my children, I'm going to kill 10 of yours. This is war. Let's get some good old World War II guys before they're all gone, Bud. Before they're all gone, who remember how to fight a war.
Thank you, Tom, very much. I appreciate it. I got to tell you, in the middle of World War II, if we had killed Adolf Hitler, FDR would have said, lectures. Get him in the next edition. I want the world to see it. Nobody protected the Italians from all of those pictures of Mussolini when they hung him upside down. Oh, don't inflame the Italian sensitivities? Give me a break. Here's BJ in Orlando. Good morning, BJ.
I'm surprised you don't find something more important to talk about than whether or not he should release the pictures. And I'm also surprised you don't even bother to discuss what went into that decision. He's not the only person who had a say in that. There was a strong debate about that.
I think it's very important to debate the wisdom of that decision here. The ramifications are huge. PJ, what is it you would have me talk about? More droopy drawers, more sexting? What do you want me to talk about that's more important than this?
Well, I'm just saying that it seems like you're picking one issue, whether or not he should release the pictures to try to put this man down, when in fact there are a lot of people a lot more smarter than you who thought it was a bad idea. And it's not just a matter of hurting their feelings. It's a matter of putting more people at risk. We have people all as tourists, not just the military people, all over the world.
They're already at risk because we killed bin Laden. Anybody who's mad at us is mad to the max. The photos don't add to that at all. And let me ask you this. If the president says, BJ, we're not going to spike the ball, isn't he spiking the ball by showing up at ground zero today? And that's where we continue on BHL with more of your phone calls. 407-916-5400 at 842.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Leaf Road Traffic Center, westbound I-4 is very slow between Princeton Street into Ivanhoe Boulevard. Reports of a problem taking up the left lane here. Otherwise, it looks like we're starting to thin out. Eastbound is just a bit heavy through downtown, and westbound I-4 is also a bit heavy near 436. Westbound along the 408 is still jammed up from Dean Road into the Greenway. Once you make your way past the Greenway, traffic does start to move again. And in Apopka, watch out for a crash reported along 441 at Plymouth Sorrento Road. From the traffic center.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, we're off to a great start this morning. We'll see plenty of sunshine today, a light northeast wind, and the temperature backing off a little bit. The high will top out in the mid-80s. Late-day thunderstorms tomorrow. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Good morning. I'm Larry Spillman, 540 WFLA News. Coming up at 8:30, don't overdo it tonight, celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Should death of top terrorist in U.S. combat mission in Afghanistan, and the floodwaters rising along the Mississippi.
Traffic on Air Online brought to you by Steinmart. At Steinmart's 12-hour sale, find a unique Mother's Day gift she'll love at a price you'll love. Save up to an additional 50% off everyday low prices throughout the store. The 12-hour sale is this Saturday only at Steinmart. More fashion, less price.
Every time you pull up to your home, you notice it. Your neighbors probably notice it too. Your paint is chipping, peeling, fading. So, you gonna paint your home yourself? I don't think so. Gonna pay someone else every few years to paint? That makes no sense. The solution? Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield is a revolutionary permanent ceramic coating that comes with a 25-year warranty. Bottom line, with Rhino Shield, you'll never have to paint your home again. Guaranteed. It's perfect for wood, brick, stucco, vinyl, and steel. And unlike vinyl, it won't mold or mildew. Call for your free estimate. 866-902-9937. It's more affordable than you think. Call 866-902-9937.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Call Rhino Shield for your free estimate. 866-902-9937. Rhino Shield permanent ceramic coating. It's more affordable than you think. Call 866-902-9937.
Let's hear it. 3 cheers for fire ants. I don't hear anything. That's because fire ants are friendless heathens. They have no pals, no buds, no homies, yo. No one who comes over and says, let's go bowling. All they do is bite your butt and mock you. That's why fire ants must die. But how? With a heavy bag of chemicals? A slow-acting bait? A flamethrower?
Thank sweet heaven there's Orthene Fire Ant Killer from Ortho. Just sprinkle 1 tablespoon of Orthene on the mound and watch the fun.
You don't even water it in. What could be easier?
The workers track it back to the queen and say,
honey, I'm home, and by the way, you're dead.
Kills the whole colony, even the queen.
Wow!
So leave it to Orthene Fire Ant Killer from Ortho, the smart, easy way to say,
fire ants must die.
Ortho, defend what's yours.
Orthene Fire Ant Killer is one of the essentials for your southern lawn.
For more must-have products, visit ortho.com/essentials.
I'm so worried about my mom. What am I going to do? I think it's time.
Time for some care?
I don't want to put her in assisted living, as she definitely wants her independence.
Grand Care Florida is helping me make sure my dad is cared for through technology. Grand Care Florida monitors Dad even though he lives out of state. I feel so much better that Grand Care Florida has helped me with my dad.
Wow, Grand Care Florida sounds perfect. How do I find them?
Contact GrandCareFlorida.com or call them 1-888-374-8009. Grand Care Florida, customized senior care for your loved one through technology. Weather on 540 WFLA is brought to you by GrandCareFlorida.com.
This is Bud Henninger Live.
As American as mince pie and sugar cookies.
Call now, 407-916-5400. Toll free, 866-916-5400.
About to take your calls on President Obama's decision not to release those photos of a dead Osama bin Laden. I think it's a mistake. I think it's the wrong call on so many levels, and I'm on record there. And I hope if you've been listening, you understand where I'm coming from and why. President Obama is going to Ground Zero this morning. I don't know if he's going to speak or not. Carney said yesterday, the spokesman at the White House, that he had no plans to speak. Now I'm hearing from Fox News that he may be speaking. And he says, well, we're not going to spike the ball by showing the photos. Isn't this kind of a victory lap for the president? He hasn't been to Ground Zero since he has been president, and he's going today, a couple of days after the killing of Osama bin Laden. Is that kind of a victory lap? A spiking of the ball if you're the enemy? And also, he invited George W. Bush, his predecessor, to go. And he declined, saying he's chosen to stay largely out of the limelight after he left the White House. Should George W. Bush have gone? Do you think that would have been a good thing? Do you wish he had decided to go? Or is declining the invitation the appropriate thing? And what about Rudy Giuliani, who was the mayor of the city? And that was just his finest hour, the way he handled all of that. His leadership was incredible. He's on the fence about whether he's going to show up with Barack Obama today. 407-916-5400. I would have been okay either way with George W. Bush. It's his call. And I think he just doesn't want to be in the limelight. I think Barack Obama thought it would be to his advantage to have George W. Bush there, who's a very popular guy around Ground Zero for taking that bullhorn in his hand and that pile of rubble a few days after the Twin Towers came down and saying the rest of the world is going to hear from all of us. And those people who took these towers down are going to hear from all of us. I think it actually would have been probably to Barack Obama's advantage if George W. Bush had gone. Who knows? Maybe that's one reason why he didn't. But we can kick that around. I'm okay either way on George W. Bush not being there. I would have supported him if he wanted to go, and I'm fine with him if he doesn't. It's 8:49 on BHL, but those photos should have been released. I believe there'll be a Freedom of Information request and challenge to this that ultimately will result in those photos being out there. It may be a long time. Karen is in Winter Springs, and I know not everybody sees it my way. Karen, where are you on the photos?
Hey, good morning, Bud.
Hi there.
I'm actually a regular listener, and this is only the second time I've called in, but I actually totally disagree with you on this one.
Why so?
Well, I think that, even watching it on the news, it's like we killed him, it's done. I don't want to give him any more attention. I think showing the pictures, why do we need to see pictures at this point? Are we in a world where we need to see, the details of everything that happens? I agree with Rubio on this, that just trust that we got him, and that's what we need to know. And we don't need to see pictures of him dead. And I don't think that would help anything. Like the other caller who had called in, yes, killing him inflamed the Muslims, but showing pictures and the way that they, think about the whole body after death and everything, that would definitely inflame them. And why would
they be inflamed any more than the news that we went in and took this guy out? I mean, they hate us anyway. They're inflamed to the max, I think, over the fact that we've killed him. But I think they need rock solid proof. The Taliban is even saying, "Hey, we don't know that he's dead. I think we need to do it to demoralize our enemy at a time of war."
No, we cut off the head of the snake. They know that we got him, okay? And I don't think we need to prove to them anything. We got him. He's dead. I personally don't want to hear any more about it. I'm thank God that he's gone, and I just don't think that we need to stir anything up, and let Obama go through and do his little,
All right, thank you, Karen. I appreciate it, but I have to tell you, I'm already getting emails from people who think we did not get bin Laden. That this whole thing has all been orchestrated for the political benefit of Barack Obama, who was flagging in the polls. So, rock-solid photographic proof might be good. Otherwise, conspiracy theories are going to rise up here and around the Muslim world where they really, really live, in the world of Islam. And 20 years from now, people are going to be believing that Osama bin Laden is still running the Al-Qaeda show somewhere, somehow, because we never proved he was dead. Back to the phones in 1 minute for our final segment with you. So stay on the line, gang. You'll all be on the radio moments from now. 8:52 on BHL. Here's a check of real-time traffic and weather together on the 2s for you.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, westbound I-4 is very slow just past Fairbanks into Ivanhoe Boulevard. There is an accident taking up the left lane here. Eastbound I-4 still a bit heavy from Cayley Avenue through downtown. And we're jammed up westbound along the 408 in between Dean Road and the Greenway. Also sluggish from the Greenway into Goldenrod. There was an earlier disabled vehicle here with roadblock. That has been cleared. Traffic is slowly starting to move again through this area. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bray.
Partly sunny, up to 83 today, 66 degrees here in Orlando. Karen doesn't want the photos released. She's unhappy with the Bud man. Vicki from Orlando, what do you think? Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi, Bud. I'm a first-time caller myself. You know, I am really tired of this constant talk about appeasing Muslims. There is no way that we can ever appease these people. How can you deal with people whose holy book states terrorize and behead those who believe in scriptures other than the Quran? Any religion other than Islam is not acceptable. Muslims are irrational, and they are the way they are.
Oh, they're not all irrational. There are many, many millions of peaceful Muslims living in this country, and if that were not true, we'd have terrorist attacks
Do you really think that
every
they're all
day.
peaceful? They read the same book that made Osama bin Laden what he is.
Sure, but it doesn't mean that they are personally going to engage in acts of violence.
But they read the same book.
I understand that. I understand that.
Engage in violence does not mean that they don't support it.
We do agree, Vicki. We do agree. I would have to think here, and correct me if I am wrong, that President Obama is much too consistently appeasing of the Muslims, and I think this is another example of that. How they buried bin Laden and the fact that he won't release the photos. It's part of it is just trying, as you say, to appease the Muslim world.
What you have to realize is that you cannot separate Islam from Sharia. There is only one Islam, and it is all radical. Islam and Sharia cannot be separated. A Muslim who considers himself a devout Muslim wants Sharia law. So all these Muslims that you claim are peaceful, in the end what they want is Sharia law because they claim that that is from God. Believe it or not, they're working in the background to dismantle our way of life and turn us into the 7th century, which is the mentality.
Listen, Vicki, thank you, and I appreciate you. I'm going to cut you now only because you're taking me off in another direction and another tangent here, and I want to stay focused on the president's visit to Ground Zero today and on his decision not to release the Osama death photos. Here is Anthony in Orlando. Anthony?
Hey, Bud. Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good morning. We're doing fine, and we're glad to have you with us.
Good. Listen, I kind of think that you're only on one side of the fence, which is obviously because you're bickering about Barack not releasing the pictures. It's not only his decision. It's been John McCain's decision, Marco Rubio's decision.
No, it's not. It's all Barack Obama's decision. He was pulled both ways on this by a lot of his own people, and he made the call.
Okay, now it's also disrespectful for President Bush. Now, I'm an American. I respect Barack, and I respect President Bush. I'm not in between. These people are our presidents, and we have to respect their decisions no matter what. Now, it's disrespectful for President Bush not to show up at 9/11 when it did happen in his administration. Now, why wouldn't he show up with Barack?
Disrespectful to who? The president or to the victims?
The people who lost their lives. Okay, now, it happened. The buildings, the towers came down on his watch. Now, Barack invited him to come to 9/11 with him to show his support. Okay, have some respect and go with Barack. It's not about election time. It's not about that. Oh, I might give him some more.
All right.
It's not even about that.
All right, he should be there, but he will not be there. As for Rudy Giuliani, apparently he's still undecided. Ali is in Orlando and has been listening to our conversation here. Ali, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bud. How are you?
I'm fine. What are your thoughts?
Where did you get that lady that was, talking to you 4 minutes ago? My
Vicky?
God. She is ill-informed, uneducated, and obnoxious. Number one.
And she disagrees with you. Which makes her all of those things, right? Where are you on the issue of releasing these photos and the issue of inflaming the Muslim world and the fact that the president, in my view, consistently tries to placate Islam?
But let me tell you something. As a Muslim here, it is irrelevant for me. Bin Laden killed 100,000 people, Muslims, between 1994 and 2000 in North Africa. Where was America? America heard about him in 2001 after 3,000 people. Let's concentrate on the real matter here. We lost $1.33 trillion to get a man who is irrelevant today. Who cares? Let's move on. As a Muslim, I don't care. He is a terrorist. He is a thug. And we spent $1.3 trillion. We could have sold our Social Security. We could have sold our Medicaid, Medicare. Where are we today? Look where America is today. We are 2 weeks from being bankrupt. May 16, we're going to be bankrupt.
Trust me, this is nickels and dimes, even if you're talking about those numbers and even if you were right in what it took to get Osama bin Laden. You're telling me it doesn't matter that we got him. Let me ask you a question as a Muslim, and let me ask you, because I'm sure you've talked to a lot of your Muslim friends about the killing of Osama bin Laden. Again, I continue to be concerned that I just don't see an outpouring by American Muslims of enthusiasm for the killing of the leader of al-Qaeda, who took so many innocent lives and took some Muslim lives. Why am I not seeing Muslims out there cheering USA, USA? Why don't you do that?
Currently, probably, of course, as you know, in this country we have censorship, but where I have a satellite and getting my news outside the world. Look here, very simple. Bin Laden does not have the infrastructure in North Africa, so therefore...
hang on, Ali. Why am I not seeing American Muslims by the thousands in the mosques cheering USA, USA? Because they're all peace-loving Muslims who love this country as much as anybody else. Here was a chance to demonstrate it. I don't see it.
Okay, actually, it's not fair because the same...
I'm just asking you, why don't we see it?
I will tell you about the first day here, our pretty much leader here.
I got 20 seconds and the show is over, Ali. Wrap it up.
Right. Our leader here came to you guys on WDBU and said we are all happy for that. We don't have to dance to express our joy.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Ali. Thank you very much. Okay, might be nice, though. Might be nice. Would have been nice. That's our show. Thanks for joining us. Wish I could have taken all the calls. The clock has run me out, but we have 3 more hours together tomorrow morning, and we'll look for you then. For Jen and Jeff and the whole team, the Budman here, have a great day. God bless you, and God bless America.
WFLF Pine Hills, WTKS FM HD2, Cocoa Beach. Your home for Glenn Beck.
540 WFLA.
Hey, it's the Budman here, and I hope you'll join me Friday morning starting at 6. Now that bin Laden's dead, the case for stopping that Ground Zero mosque from being built. Don't miss our Wall Street Journal report every morning at 6:35, and at 7, it's the last day of the Florida State legislative session. What didn't pass that needed to? And at 8, a Midwestern imam joins me live on how the Muslim community is reacting to the death of Osama bin Laden.